Ladies and gentlemen, about a month ago, I did my first 7 days on SteamOS coming from the PlayStation console, and I kind of went over the differences of the user experience, you know, from using the PlayStation dashboard to adjusting to the SteamOS dashboard. Well, after my 30 days, I thought it only best to try also Windows and the new Xbox mode. So it's been a little over a week, and I wanted to go ahead and get some of my thoughts down of the user experience between using the Xbox mode on Windows for PC gaming versus using SteamOS. So kind of the same type of video, except SteamOS versus the Xbox mode on Windows instead of going against PlayStation. So let's just go ahead and jump straight into it here. Okay, so you can see right away here, this is the Xbox mode dashboard. And, I kind of called on Twitter for them to kind of update it to be a little bit more like the Xbox console dashboard, and they've kind of been getting there slowly but surely. So you can see, right across the top, we have our jump back in menu here. So these are kind of the games that I've been playing or played recently or downloaded recently. Actually, they show up in here too. Like I haven't played a Fallout 4, but I just downloaded it recently. The games I've been playing right now, really Beast of Incarnation, Marathon, and the Altars are kind of the ones that I've been rotating through here. And that's going to be my first big takeaway here is games like this, like Marathon, that require anti-cheat. You can actually play those on Windows. So it's been nice to be able to play any game. And that kind of is one of the biggest benefits really right now is, on PC gaming, you really want that open ecosystem. So I want to be able to play Xbox Game Pass games. I want to play Xbox PC games. I want to be able to play games from GOG. I want to be able to play Steam games. Like I want really the complete open benefit, like all of the different storefronts to choose from. And when you're on SteamOS, you are a little bit limited in the fact that you can't play Xbox PC games. You can't play Game Pass games. You can play non-Steam games. You have to go through a few hoops to get them into your non-Steam library. But right now, SteamOS, that's just something that you can't do. Now, there is something that is coming soon. So I'll pull up an article real quick here. I think this is Steam Deck HQ. And they write on here, the Exodus project is working on allowing Linux users to run Xbox PC and Xbox Game Pass games locally on the device by reverse engineering the framework that they're built on. They've already made significant progress by having a functional Xbox login system that can check the licenses for your games as well as the game downloads themselves. Now that they have the big task of getting those games to run locally on SteamOS. So that's coming from the creators of the Heroic Games launcher, if you're familiar with them on SteamOS. So, some of the limitations on SteamOS might be going away soon, but hey, still right now you cannot play Xbox Game Pass games on SteamOS. So let's jump back into the Xbox mode here on Windows. Okay, so this is our main menu, and what is really cool, what I do like about this is there's two apps, which kind of sucks. It's like it should just be all one thing, but they're slowly getting there with this Xbox mode. So when I press the Xbox home button, it does bring up this, which is the Xbox Game Bar in its new compact form to make it kind of more console-like for you. So you kind of got all of your normal, usual things here. So like your home menu, so games that you've been playing recently. Also, quick access to, of course, the Xbox app, which is what we're in, or the Steam app, or if you have other launchers, so like the Ubisoft Plus or, an EA, whatever other launchers are available to be added in there. You've got access to your settings here, so this is super helpful, and you'll be using this a lot, especially for different things like, there's just a lot of stuff. Sometimes the settings get wonky, so you may need to go to HDR or non-HDR or whatever, or change it. So you've got access to more settings here. And what is nice is they've made it to where you can go ahead and open Windows settings without getting out of Xbox mode proper now. So that is something that you can do there. And then to get back, we just need to bring up the multitasking menu, which is holding down on the Xbox button. And now I can kind of swap through. And you can see you can go into Steam Big Picture mode too. So if you really like that SteamOS interface, here you go, Steam Big Picture mode. And it took a minute for it to recognize my controller, but now it is working just like you would expect. So the kind of cool thing about playing on Xbox mode is if you really like SteamOS and the SteamOS experience, you can still have it. And everything still works great, just like it is running SteamOS almost. So you could hit the Xbox menu. Well, it's going to bring up our game bar, so a little, maybe it's the B button. Yeah, so if you're on the home screen, hit the B button, and that'll pop that menu up. So like if we wanted to take a look at the store, you can still do it this way. So things, you kind of have to retrain your brain a little bit, but you can see the store works and functions just fine in the Steam big picture mode. And that's one of the things I called out before was this personalized calendar. I really, really do like that. And a couple games I'm interested in. I didn't actually get this H-Field High. I ended up picking up or playing Beast of Reincarnation instead. But Dusk Fade, I definitely am going to be playing that soon as well. So really excited about that. So let's go ahead and jump back over to the Xbox mode here. So back to the bar here. So you've got your settings there. You've got your friends list. So you can definitely see like what people are playing or whatever you want to do there. And so you've got different, settings here. Got access to your game capture stuff and some stats. Which the stats would be nice if you could kind of access these a little bit easier, because like really the only way that you can't really have this pulled up while you're playing a game. It doesn't really work like that. So they've got some work to do on some of that kind of stuff. So, but anyways, it is nice to have your Xbox friends list you're playing and stuff like that. And no matter if you're playing it on Steam or playing a Game Pass game or whatever, it doesn't really matter. So, but of course on this homepage, we've got a featured section. So this is just going to be featured stuff that they want to show you. You've got recent games that were recently added to a Game Pass, got access to the top paid games. And then of course, advertisements here for Game Pass, game deals, top free games. And this is all just kind of on the homepage. So it is starting to get much more like the console than it originally was. And it is starting to work better too, as you see as I navigate through. But let's go through and actually pick a different page here and see how long it takes to load. Because sometimes I have had some sluggishness with it, and it's definitely not a fault of the PC. So let's go to Game Pass first. So we're going to flip over to that. And you can see it does take a second for everything to load, but actually they have sped this up quite a bit here in this most recent update, I will say. And, when the first couple of days with this, I mean, these were taking sometimes, many seconds to load all of these cards, which was super annoying. Let's go ahead and try, library, load it up super fast. One thing that's like, I wish they would fix it, and I'm sure they can. I mean, because they're pulling images in for like the Steam games, but like, it's not the full nice art, and maybe they want it that way to get you to use their stuff. So you can see the difference here on Halo Campaign Evolved. This is what it looks like if you're playing it. I have it downloaded from Steam. This is what it looks like if you're using the actual Xbox Store or PC Game Pass or whatever. So, it obviously looks as intended. If it's from another storefront, you get kind of like a little bit of a bastardized version of it, which kind of sucks. But I don't know. Maybe they want it like that to try to keep you in their ecosystem. I don't know. Let's click on cloud. So that's another thing cool too, is if even if you are I got rid of my Xbox Series X. All I have is this now. I still have a PlayStation, obviously, but if I want to play console Xbox games, if I have Xbox Game Pass Ultimate, then I can actually stream the games from like the console versions, which is cool. It's not something I'm going to be probably doing very often, because I think I'm just going to be playing natively most of the time. But, maybe I'm playing a super heavy game graphically, and maybe it doesn't do well on my Legion Go 2 or something, and I want to stream it. Maybe that becomes an option for me now. Of course, you could do stuff like GeForce Now or whatever. But this cloud page loaded it really fast. And let's check out the store, see if it also does. And it took a little bit, just a second or two longer there, but yeah, really good. So they've really improved this a lot. I'm telling you, even just in the last week, it is a major difference in this last update. And the Xbox app and the game bar, they get updated it seems like every couple of days. So they are constantly working on it. And even though I've been using this a while, I used it a lot when it first came out on my handhelds. I'm in it every day now on my handhelds and on this PC now. And even in just the last week, I could tell a big difference. So they're definitely focused on trying to improve this, which I definitely do appreciate. Search for games. It does pop up a keyboard nicely. So you could do everything that you need to do pretty much with the mouse and keyboard. But anytime something goes haywire at all, if you exit the Xbox mode, you're immediately out of controller land, and it becomes like you need a mouse and keyboard to really navigate it. So which is kind of cool that they added the settings to be able to do that in Xbox mode now. So like if you want to go and do your like Windows updates or whatever, like you can actually get to it now without leaving Xbox mode, which is nice. So I can just, go down here to go to Windows update, and then I could check for updates and stuff now that way, and then just hop back right into it without ever leaving the Xbox mode. So that's cool. You originally couldn't do that. So I definitely appreciate it. I gotta say, man, they are working on it, and it is getting a lot better. It's not my favorite layout, but it is getting quite a bit better. And they do have like the beeps and the boops now. I think I've got that on the capture. I'm not sure, so I don't know if you guys are hearing that or not. But it has been a little bit finicky. So sometimes like I wasn't getting those little pops as you move through the navigation, and then sometimes I would. So I don't know. Maybe they fixed that in the update. Right now I don't have the audio on. I think it's just going through the capture. So if you can't hear it, I apologize about that. But I think you probably can. But that's really kind of it on the overview. So as far as when it comes to like actually playing games, like we'll just go ahead and jump into a game real quick so you can see like how fast and everything that loads. So we'll go ahead and load into Beast of Reincarnation here, which I've been playing. And this game has surprised me quite a bit. I actually kind of like it a lot more than I anticipated. I will say though, like the first thing it recommends whenever you boot up the game is to turn on all these auto targeting things, which I'm like, okay, the game obviously wants me to do that. So I did that. And man, the camera was just a nightmare. I was constantly fighting the camera in like everything that I was doing in the game. So I definitely recommend turning all that auto targeting stuff off. And there's another setting in the menu for camera follow. And I'll just show you that real quick since the menu has now popped up on camera. Player follow, turn that one off, and now you've got kind of like a free swinging camera like you typically expect in like 3D action games. So let's go ahead and load into my most recent save here, and just kind of show you how quickly everything loads. I mean, I expected, being back on Windows to have issues with stuttering and things like that, but I gotta say this particular build that I have, so I am running a 9070 XT, and the CPU is a 9800 X3D, so it's a really good CPU, and it has some of that extra 3D caching or whatever special stuff. So I don't know if that's taking care of it, but I really have not had any issues with stuttering and stuff like that. Any issues I have had have been like game related, I think. So you can see here, we're just running around this. I think this is even native 4K. Which has been awesome to play games in native or close to native. Let's see if this one has, upscaling is turned off. So we've got basically everything on the highest fidelity. I set the frame rate to 60, and put performance mode on, HDR is on, and of course it is running in full 4K. So, I mean, everything just running nice and smooth on this game. And so I really have had a nice time playing it. Really interesting traversal stuff. So you got this little way that kind of like loads you up here, or you can just like shoot out your hair, which is weird. I thought it was like shoot out like like wooden limbs or whatever, but apparently it's her hair. So anyway, so yeah, some kind of cool different verticality stuff, and you can also like kind of whip your way to stuff too. So it's pretty cool. You can sneak up on enemies. This guy is actually pretty powerful here. But yeah, so anyway, we're not here for the game, so let's go ahead and jump back out of that real quick. Multiple different ways. Obviously, you could just quit the game out, but you could also do it from here too. So if you hit this X, it's going to be like, oh, you're going to lose progress. So you can just quit game that way, which we'll do. And it's still going to sync progress. I will say I've ran into a couple of times where I turned this off or put it in sleep mode too fast, and the save did not. Like, look how long this has taken to sync. So this is a big problem for me, is how long it will take to sync. So now it's done. I mean, you might say that like, oh, what's the big deal? Well, I mean, when I'm done playing, I usually close the game. Once the game's closed out, I'm like, I'm putting it into sleep mode, and I'm, leaving the room, going downstairs or whatever. Sometimes picking it up on the other handheld, and it's like, oh, your save is not done uploading or whatever. So that is an adjustment I've had to make, is to slow down on that. And because SteamOS is like really quite fast the way it does it. But I mean, to be fair, that did happen to me one time on Steam as well. It's just moving a little too fast on shutting everything down. That is one thing too on the controller. So I'm using now an Xbox. Let's see, you can get it in the frame here. This is an Xbox Elite controller, and I'm using actually the Microsoft dongle they used to make for it. They don't make it anymore, but I wanted to get that, just like lower latency, better connection, non-Bluetooth, and that works great. It's working awesome, but it will not wake the system like the Steam controller will. So I don't know what they did in the Steam controller. I've got all the USB settings and everything for it to be able to do that. It just will not wake the system. So I don't know if you know how to do that on Windows with an Xbox controller, please drop me a comment down below. I'd love to be able to just restart the computer or turn it on from sleep mode without doing it on the Steam controller, which Steam controller just doesn't work really at all in the Xbox mode. So I've had to switch it back to my Xbox controller, which is great. I love the Xbox controller, especially the Elite. So pretty happy to be using that again. But, generally speaking, this really is making me think about what ecosystems I want to play in, because if you watch the other videos, I've pretty much always had all the different consoles throughout my whole life, but I would always primary one of them. So from pretty much the moment I got my original Xbox to Xbox 360 to Xbox One, Xbox One X, Xbox Series X, Xbox was my main platform for many, many years, almost 2 decades, before I ended up switching over to PlayStation a few years ago. And I even actually totally got rid of my Xbox Series X at the time. And, I kind of, have been drawn into PC now, and on SteamOS, I'm like, yeah, this is a really nice ecosystem. I like it. I like what they're doing with SteamOS and stuff like that. But even though I have a library of games, I've just been picking stuff up like super cheap on sale over the years whenever I would see them. So I do have a library of games there, but it's like, I don't have any achievements there. I don't have any of my history there. And it's like the pull back to Windows now with the Xbox mode. It's like, man, this is my same Xbox profile. I have my same gamer score, all my history there. So it's like, I kind of maybe... If the Xbox mode continues to get better, which it has been getting better, and if the games are running good enough for me and not having stuttering issues and stuff, which so far I haven't run into that at all, and maybe this might be the ecosystem that I'm kind of gonna go back into. Like for instance, this month Game Pass has Beast of Reincarnation, and it has I think it's called Resonant, which is the new I can't think right now. Which is the new action-heavy Plague Tale game, which I'm definitely really interested in playing that. Both of those games are on Game Pass this month, so it's like, okay, well, I might as well go ahead and subscribe to Game Pass for a month. So I did that. So I got Beast of Reincarnation. I'm going to play the Resonance game on Game Pass. So I'm going to play basically 2 games for... it's supposed to be $22 for Game Pass Ultimate. I think Game Pass PC is $14, which is all I would need there. I think I... actually bought my code off of eBay. It was like $10, I want to say. So for $10, I'm going to play both of those games. Like, that is super appealing, is being able to play, because I like to play. You guys that follow the channel know I like to play new games. And, a lot of times, normally I'd maybe be buying Beast of Reincarnation for $60. Maybe I would be buying Resonance for $59, whatever those are. That's $120 that I'm going to play both those games for $10. So it's like, why not? You know what I mean? Like, maybe this is an Xbox future that everybody hated the marketing. Maybe they were just ahead of the game, and I'm finally, getting around to being like, you know what? Maybe they had the right idea. But I don't know how they're going to make Game Pass work. In my opinion, I don't really care. From the consumer standpoint, it's not my job to make sure that the developers stay open or that they sell games or whatever. Like, from a consumer's perspective, if you're going to give me this, if I can get these 2 games for $10, I can play them both in a month. No problem. You know what I mean? So, hey, to each their own. Some people like to love their games, but, when we're all kind of reconsidering the all digital future with, PlayStation announcing killing discs and, probably Xbox and Nintendo not too far behind, whether it's 5 years, 10 years, whatever, it is compelling for me as an Xbox main player for a very, very, very long time. It's like, boom, my library is back with me, even though a lot of the console games aren't available to me right now. The rumors are that they're going to be able to with Project Helix and stuff, maybe do all generations compatible all back through PC, which would be super cool. So my entire library would just open back up. So for me, I kind of think, even just after this first week, I kind of think I'm going to stay on Windows in this Xbox mode, because I can still play games on Steam if I want to. I can still use the Steam interface if I like that better. I can still have access to all of my friends and my Xbox history, my achievements and stuff like that. So, so far after 7 days, I will say that there's a lot of benefits for me specifically that may or may not apply to you versus SteamOS. So I don't know. It's just another one of these videos, guys. I just wanted to kind of sit down and ramble a little bit, just kind of tell you about my experience and, how much so far I really am liking the new Xbox experience. I really think that, it really is coming along. It's not perfect. And again, like I'm picking up a keyboard and mouse later today just because like there are so many times whenever maybe you booted it up and it's like, it didn't load Xbox mode. Like, I'll give you an example today. When I booted it up after I did all these updates yesterday, Xbox mode, totally gone, just completely gone. Just the Xbox app was back. And like, if you went into the settings and went into gaming, Xbox mode, not even there. I had to use the Vive tool that, a lot of us have used on, especially handhelds, to force the option available. So I had to do that too. Force the option back open and get it back. So it's like, there are a lot of issues it's like Windows is the problem. Xbox mode is not the problem. It's like, I would just like to see them more and more push toward this Xbox mode stuff and kind of, pull more and more away from the Windows side of it. So where you can do more, get some more. And like I said, they are doing that with the settings. I can get to them now from Xbox mode and the controller and stuff works, where that wasn't always the case before. But just a lot of the stuff that's simple in SteamOS is harder in here. Like if you're adding Bluetooth devices or whatever, if you need to search for something specific or whatever, basically if you have to go to Windows mode, you need a keyboard and mouse. And unfortunately, Steam controller, even though it has those trackpads, doesn't really work. Apparently there's no PC controller out there that has a touch sensitive like mouse mode controls that also has rumble, which seems so stupid. But anyway, I really like the Xbox Elite series anyway, so I just went ahead and picked up a cheap little keyboard and mouse so I can just have it up here, and if I need it, I can turn them on, and if I don't, I'll just leave them off. So anyway, I'm unexpectedly pretty happy with this Xbox mode, and I've been gaming on it here for a little over a week, and it's just been a whole lot of fun. And kind of surprised me that I'm kind of like, am I back? Did we come full circle? A full 360 degrees? 360? Huh? It's okay, guys. I'm a dad now. I can do dad jokes, okay? That's whatever. Anyways, hey, thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate you watching the video. Thank you guys for all your support, and we will see you next time.